and welcome to my second video. It's not the first time I started this, so I hope it's going to work out fine now. In case you haven't seen it, I posted another video on Saturday about my special plans for the weekend, so if you want to, you can go check that out first, and it will give you a chance to see how much I can stitch in 24 hours. It might be interesting. So yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about is a thank you to a few other Flosstubers who mentioned me or maybe shared my video on Facebook and on their Instagram, which pushed me a lot because I think I'm over 150 subscribers now, and that's just that was even before I posted my second video. Also, I'm very bad at looking into the camera, so sorry for that. But well, the Flosstubers that I wanted to mention are Betsy from Betsy Kläger. So she is very nice and very funny, I think. I really like watching her videos, and also she was very helpful sometimes, and also gave me some tips, and yeah, just also taught me to do a video kind of, or well, she motivated me a bit to do a video, and also she shared my video. And yeah, also Emma from Emma X Stitching. I think she also shared my video on Facebook, which I think also led to quite some subscriptions, I think, and also she's very nice, and also she does very good videos. So check her out if you haven't. But I think if you watch my video and haven't watched them, then you definitely should do that. The next one would be Michael from Star Parade Craft. He is very funny and very cool, so you should definitely watch him too. And he also talked about me in his last video, and yeah, and in his videos he has some very interesting parts also about music and about books, and he has some very cool books. So definitely check him out if you haven't before. And yeah. Then the next one would be Darcy from Stitchman Darcy. I just like his videos. He's so funny. I think he reminds me of a friend, just a bit older. Maybe, I don't know, 10 years or so. I'm sorry I said that. But he's just so funny, and I think he was the 4th Flosstuber I watched regularly. It was just, I watched his first video, and it just started with a zoom in on his face and back, and I think it's hilarious. So, yeah, and he also talked about me in his the video before the last video. So yeah, that was very nice too. And then, of course, there's my friend Nicole from Stitchy Lemon. She also talked about me in 2 of her videos already, and also she's a big fan of my tomatoes, it seems. Oh, there is going to be a part about the tomatoes later, so stay posted if you're interested in my tomato story. So yeah, that's about those are the Flosstubers who I know that they mentioned me. So if you know anyone else who mentioned me, you can tell me for my next video. So yeah, and then what I wanted to talk to now we get to the stitching part. And if you have watched my video from Saturday, then you know that on the last weekend, or Saturday to Monday, I participated in the International Hermit and Stitch Weekend, and also tried to do the 24 hours of cross stitch marathon, which would normally start this weekend, but since I will be going on vacation then, there's no chance I could do the 24 hours then, so I decided to do it now. And in case you haven't watched it, maybe I will put photos in here, but I don't know yet. So yeah, then I will show you what I worked on 3 projects on the weekend, and I'm going to show you what I did. The first project I worked on was Loki, and I stitched... first thing is I completed the 24 hours. It was very exhausting actually, because I didn't manage to split it in 3 8 hours, because I didn't have enough time on Saturday, so it was very exhausting for Sunday and Monday to stitch all those hours. So yeah, the first thing I worked on is Loki, and if you can see I stitched the whole part here, and maybe you will see that the outline is missing, and if you're also following me on Instagram, you know that on my photo there, it is there. And that's the reason for that is I realized when I took the photos that I used the wrong color. So I had to unpick pick the outline, because if you look closely, this color should be the same as the color on the other hand here, but it isn't. So this one on this hand is brighter than the one here. So the orange color was very awful on this side, so I unpicked it, and my plan is to take the color that would be on the inside of the hand and stitch the outline with that, because I have been thinking before I have been wondering if I really am very happy with how the hand looks here, because it's just the outlines look so orange to me, and I didn't really like that. So I looked up in a table what skin colors there are for DMC, and I found a set of 3. There's a dark tone, a normal tone, and a light highlight. And the color on the outline here would be, well, there's a set of 3. This one would be the dark color, and it's for the fairest skin tone. And then in the middle would be the normal tone, and this color here would be the light highlight color, which I accidentally took. But I thought about taking, going one step lighter and taking the normal tone for the outlines, and the brighter tone for the rest, because if you know the movies and if you know Loki, then you know that he's pretty fair-skinned, so I think it might actually fit better. Also maybe the orange maybe it's showing more because it's on a green background, I don't know, but I don't know, I don't like it that much. So I will just, since I'm forced to redo this hand or part of it anyways, I will just try it and then see which hand I prefer. So yeah, and before unpicking, I stitched 7 hours 35 minutes on this one, and that were 528 stitches, which is pretty fast for me. So on average I can do like 60 stitches in an hour. So on this one I was a lot faster, which is always kind of nice. I'm always happy when I'm faster than my 60 stitches, because when I just say that, I'm thinking like, what are you doing with your time? Because it's 1 stitch in a minute, and I'm definitely faster than taking 1 minute to do 1 stitch, so I really have no idea what I'm doing with my time. So yeah, it's always nice when it's more than 60 stitches. So yeah, then the next project I worked on was the Galaxy beer. There's not really a lot that happened here, just this small part here and a little bit down here that I managed to stitch. So yeah, that were 2 hours and 50 minutes. It wasn't much, but a little bit. I was just so occupied with the other project that I didn't do a lot on this one. And the fourth one, the kilt, that I told you I might work on, I didn't work on that one at all. Yeah, I was quite happy with the other one. And then the next one would be my large project, and I'm going to show you. There we are, and I made it to the border. Also, I don't know how good you can see this, but there's so much confetti in there. It drove me nearly mad, because I was part of it. I think I had like 11 or 12 colors, you know, so up here 11 or 12 colors, and there were like 9 of them in one row, so it was just stitch 1, park the thread, take the next one, stitch 1 stitch, park the thread, and so it took like, it felt, I don't know, like I wasn't really making any progress, and it was just exhausting. But on this one I managed to stitch 14 hours and 10 minutes, and in that time I did 639 stitches, which is a lot slower than I would usually be, but I think it's definitely the confetti at fault there. So yeah, but I'm hitting the border, which is quite nice. I said before that I in the other video that I'm hoping to finish this one before going on vacation next weekend, but I really doubt I can do that, because it looks like the rest of this is all about the same amount of confetti, so I don't think there's any way I can do that, but I'm going to try to stitch a lot on this one. Yeah, we will see also, which I thought that might be interesting to you. So since my first Flosstube episode, when I showed you this one first, I did about 3,200 stitches, which would be about 6 rows. So I don't know, maybe we were about this this area. So yeah, it's quite nice. Yeah, also yesterday I hit the 10% mark on this project, which is very cool. It took me about 2.5 months now to reach the 10%, and in case you didn't know yet, I'm planning to finish this one by fall of 2023. I'm trying to aim for April, but it gives me a bit of, I'd have a bit more room till fall, because this one is a fan art piece from fan art for one of Brandon Sanderson's book series, the Stormlight Archive, and the next book will come out in fall 2023. Well, that's when it's estimated, and the author is very good at keeping to his schedule, so it's very likely it will really be published in fall. And I'm trying to finish this one before that, because also I really don't know in what kind of emotional state the next book might leave me, and I would really love to have it finished before that. So yeah. Oh, and this one is stitched on 18 count magic guide, or what's the other one? Easy count? I don't know, one of those fabrics from Zweigart. So yeah, in case you want. Oh, and about the other ones, this one is a kit from Riolis. I forgot the name. It's a big beer. So I will put a picture in. So yeah, and it's stitched on 14 count Ada. At least that's what I think. And this one here is a pattern by Fancy Face Collections, and it's stitched on 32 count hand dyed even weave from Heart Stitch Designs on Etsy. They have very beautiful fabric there. I bought several others, and there's another package on the way to me. I'm very excited for when that will arrive. So much for that. Then the last whip I stitched on that I can show you is my stitch along. I don't really remember where I was at the last time, if their part 1 had been released before or not, but part 2 has been released since then, and I already stitched it. So it's very cute, and it's a little dragonfly, and I'm very excited to see part 3 when it arrives next Monday. I don't think I will be able to stitch it soon though, because I will be on vacation next week. I'm going to tell you more about my plans later, but I don't think I will take this one with me, because I think it would be rather hard to stitch this without a stand, and I'm not planning on taking a stand with me, so I think I'm not going to take it and stitch part 2 later than when it's released. So yeah, but it's really beautiful, and I'm very excited to see what the next part will be. It's by Faby Reilly Designs. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Yeah, and it's stitched on 32 count linen. I forgot the color, but it's the called for fabric. So yeah, that was the last whip that I worked on, and I have to check what I wanted to say. Oh, and then there's another thing I worked on, which is not directly cross-stitch related because it's sewing. I have been sewing my first project bag, and I'm going to hold it far away so you don't see the areas that I wouldn't like you to see, because this is the first one, and some things didn't go as planned. And it doesn't look as... My perfectionist self is not very happy with this one, but if you look from far away, it's very beautiful. Also, the fabric is just so cute. And I'm trying to learn from this one from my other project bags that I'm going to sew soon. I hope I will try to sew another one today. Also because I would like to have at least 3 project bags that I can take my cross-stitch stuff with me on vacation. So yeah, then the next part I'm going to talk about is my haul, because I bought some stuff. It's very cool stuff. So the first thing is today I was able to go to a cross-stitch supply shop for the first time ever because as you know, or maybe you don't know, I'm from Germany and it's not that easy to get a craft store that holds supplies for cross-stitch or embroidery around here. Also the the floss you can get most often is anchor floss, and I usually only stitch with DMC floss. And then normally if maybe you can find some Aida fabric, some plain white Aida, or maybe even something with colors, but it's really hard to get here. And other things like patterns or kits or something like that are just very hard to find here. So I discovered a few weeks ago that there's a cross-stitch shop some a little bit away from here, and it's 1.5 hours in one direction. So I thought I would like to go there at some point, but I didn't plan to go there soon. But my dad asked me if I could drive him to another city today, and since it was on the way, I just thought, well, then I could just, you know, drive another hour and drive there. So I did that, and I bought some stuff, and it was like, I went into the shop, and it was like, oh, there, I'm in heaven. It's so cool here, because they had, you know, there were cross-stitch on the walls, and floss on the walls, and fabric and patterns, and it was just so beautiful. And yeah, and I planned to buy some silks, because they had silk floss, and I have been very curious to stitch with silks, because there have been so many people who talk about it. One of those is Esther, the Danish stitcher, because she's talking so much about the hand-dyed silks she always buys, that it made me very curious about silks in general. And I was a bit, I didn't just want to order them online if there's an alternative, because I couldn't look at them, and so yeah, I wanted to look at them and compare them, and not just from a photo. So yeah, and they had silks, which is so I think I'm going to start with the fabric. There are few fabrics I bought. This one here, I think that is 36 count. I don't really know because it's the German per centimeters, and I'm not as good at but I think it's something like between 35 and 38 count, something between that. And I have never stitched on fabric like this, so I will be very curious to try it out. I don't really have a plan for this one, but yeah. Who plans before buying fabric? Maybe it would be smarter, but I don't know. Then I got this one, which is opalescent 32 count Belfast linen from Zweigart. You can read it, but yeah, because this, I think it's just nice for wintry stuff. And actually Michael suggested this fabric like this for another project, the kit with a skating cow that I would like to do for my mom. And it's planned, the fabric they gave with that kit is just plain white Aida, and I think it's just so boring, so I wanted to try other fabrics, and he suggested this fabric to me, but it's not as easy to get here, or well, this one is, but other fabrics are not. And so yeah, I thought that I would have preferred even weave, but they didn't have even weave in this color, so I decided to go with the linen instead. And yeah, and I also the hand-dyed fabric that I ordered from Hard Stitch Designs too. There's one fabric that I think would be very fitting for the cow, so I will I'm still waiting for that fabric to see if it fits or not. Otherwise, maybe this fabric would be a good alternative. So yeah, then next thing I bought is this here. So it's a linen band, and it has small little leaves on there, and it's just I just thought it looked so nice, so I decided to get a piece. I don't really know what I'm going to stitch on it, but I'm pretty sure something is going to come to my mind. I don't know which count it is, but might be 28 or so. Maybe I should have written that down, I don't know. So yeah, then the next, oh well no, I'm going to start with the floss, because the other things belong together, kind of, because I bought the last fabric with a project in mind. So here I have 3 different hand-dyed silks, which just, I don't know, the colors just caught my eyes, and I don't know, I had to buy them. So this one is from Gloriana, and it's called Poinsettia. I don't know what I want to do with it, but I don't know, I just fell in love with this color. Then the next one is from the Thread Gatherer, and it's a very beautiful purple color, and it's just, I don't know, it's very, I think I'm a fan of very bright and strong colors, so this one was just like, I need to buy that. Also, I spent way too much money, but well, there's very rarely a chance for me to actually see those before buying them in reality. So yeah, it was just so nice. And this one is from Karen collection, Water Lilies, and it's just so lovely and bright. And I also don't have a plan for this one, but something is going to show. Or I'm just going to look for something. Although this one is just so smooth. The other ones don't feel as smooth. I don't know if that's always the case, or you know, if maybe it has something to do with the dyeing process, or I don't really know, but it's this one is just very smooth. I like it. Yeah. And then I got some other silks. So those are by Auvert à Soie, and they're Soie d'Alger, and it's sad because I'm going to put you a photo in, because I thought about what I could stitch to try out silks for the first time, and I found it looks a bit like a sampler, not really. Those who know about samplers are going to say, no, that doesn't look like a sampler at all, but I think it's what comes to it closest, and but it's a nerdy kind of project, because it's from The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and I like Legend of Zelda, and I have seen that pattern several times, and I thought about maybe stitching it, so now I thought it would be the perfect pattern to try silks out. And so I got those, which would be the fitting colors, except this one is not like the yellow that is written in the pattern, but if you can see, it just looks like gold, and it's so beautiful, and I think it would be perfect. Oh, and what I didn't say, so I'm trying to put the picture in here, and I will just do the stripe in the middle and stitch that, because the whole pattern is very huge, and as you know, I have several large projects going on, so I didn't want to stitch the whole pattern. Also, for trying out silks, a huge pattern like that might not be the right thing, so I decided to get the floss for the middle stripe, and also fabric for which would fit the whole one, and I'm going to stitch the stripe in the middle, and if while stitching I realize that I like it very much and want to continue, then I'm going to get the rest of the floss and stitch the rest too. And if I decide I have enough of this project or of stitching with those the floss, but I think it would rather be the motif and not the floss, then I'm just going to cut the stripe out of the large piece of fabric and just frame that. So that's my plan. And this here is the fabric I decided to get. It is a Zweigart 40 count linen, Newcastle linen, and I thought it's a fabric where all the colors come out, and it's just a neutral fabric, but not white, which might be too much contrast for the black floss. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try. I don't know when I'm going to start this, but I don't think it will be too long from now, but also not, I don't think within the next month or so. So we will see. And then I have another haul piece. This one, it's pretty huge. As you can see, it is a bag for my scroll frame from my big one with the Battle of the Bed Sheets project on it. It is very beautiful and it's very well made. It's just a bit bigger than I expected, because I didn't expect it to be that long. Because for my frame it would have been enough if it would be half the size. On the other hand, that means I could also use larger side pieces for my frame and it would still fit. I just have to be careful if I put the frame in this and lay it down somewhere, that it doesn't, because there's a lot of room in there, so it can move inside, so I have to be a bit more careful when I'm laying it down somewhere, or for example, if I lay it in the car, that it doesn't move and anything presses on the fabric or so. But it's very beautiful. I forgot the name of the I forgot the name of the shop I bought it from, but I'm going to I will try to put a link down below. I might forget though. So if you want to know, and there's no link posted down there, you could just write a comment or contact me on Instagram also and ask me where I got it from. Yeah. And then there's another piece of haul, which is not really cross-stitch related, but anyways, because I got a new game for the Nintendo Switch, which is the new remake of a Zelda game. And also I got 2 new controllers, also themed for the game, so now maybe you can understand why I'm going to stitch the Zelda pattern, because I'm not that huge of a Zelda fan, so I haven't played every game or something like that. I have just played the Twilight Princess game and also Breath of the Wild. Though I haven't finished that one yet. I don't know, I switched from the Wii to the Nintendo Switch in between, and I didn't finish it on the old console completely. So I didn't go to the last boss fight yet, and on the new console I just didn't have the same motivation to start new and do everything again. But I think I might have to finish that one in the future. And then I think I stitched A Link to the Past, or no, A Link Between Worlds, and also Link's Awakening or so, that came out. Part of the Wind Waker that was borrowed though, so I couldn't finish it. And now I'm going to try this one, so I'm very excited to try it out soon. It arrived before the marathon started, but I couldn't try it out yet because I had to finish the 24 hours. So I can start it now. I think it's going to be fun. So yeah, that was all of my haul. There are a few other things on the way now, but they are not here. Oh well, a few things. Fabric, and I also ordered thread cards, so where I can thread organizer. Yeah, that's also something I ordered. So yeah, now we're going to come to the last point of my video, and that is my plans. So as I told you before, I'm going on vacation next weekend, and I have thought about what I'm going to take with me, and I have decided that I'm definitely going to take Loki with me, and I'm going to finish that one definitely. So I think it's going to be very good for stitching in the car too, because we're going on a very long car drive, and I'm definitely going to finish that one. So yeah, and then I always said when I'm going to finish Loki, I'm going to start another one, and I also knew which one I wanted to start, and it's this kit by Owl Forest Embroidery. And now I can start it because Loki is on his way to be finished. So yeah, I'm going to start this one together with Claire from Stitch Lit by Claire. If you are not, if you haven't followed her yet, if you haven't subscribed to her yet, please go check her out and subscribe to her, because she's still trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, if she reaches 1,000 subscribers, she can do lives from her phone, and her lives are very I was at the last live she did, and it was very nice, and also it's kind of the reason why I started, why I'm doing Flosstubes now, because they motivated me to at least start an Instagram, and that is also the reason why I'm doing a Flosstube now, so subscribe to her if you haven't yet. But yeah, we are going to start this one together. She has, so I have, it's a set of 3, and they have an option for a single kit or for a large one with all three motors in one, or with a set of all three kits. And she has the large project that's not split up, and I have the 3 kits. But we're going to start with this, with the cute polar bears. So I'm very excited to do that. It's the first larger project I'm going to stitch with variegated threads, so I'm very curious how that will be. So yeah, and then there's another start I will do I will most likely start on my holiday, because it's my next month I'm going to participate in cross stitch camp in August, and if I understood it right, then the challenge for August is to stitch on a fabric you have never stitched on. I'm trying to put a picture of the pattern in the video so you can see what I'm trying to stitch, and there are 2 fabrics that I'm thinking about using. Also, you can say what you think, because it's going to be some time before I start it, but there are 2 options. One thing would be this blue fabric, which I thought might fit. It's 32 count even weave, hand dyed fabric, and I have never stitched on a bright blue like this one, so it would only on very dark fabric, so I think this one would count. And so yeah, this one was one I thought might fit. And the other option would be my little piece of 20 count fabric, because I have never stitched on 20 count fabric before, and I thought, since the project is not as big and not as difficult, it might be a very good chance to try 20 count fabric out for the first time. I don't really know what I should do. Maybe you can comment and say what you think would be better, the blue fabric or the 20 count Ada, or maybe if I should just use the chance and try the 20 count fabric, because I don't really know what other project I could try on 20 count Ada first. Yeah, so tell me what you think. So yeah, I think that's all that I have to show you. Yeah, so I will just say, oh, I nearly forgot. So my tomatoes. So if you're not interested into my newfound love for gardening, just skip this part. I'm going to say goodbye to you. I would be very happy to see you again next time. You can subscribe if you want to. Also, if you're interested, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to post things regularly, and also I have more often I have new things in my story. So yeah, you can check that out too. Okay, and now to my tomatoes, because I had to part from most of my plants 3 or 4 weeks ago. It would be about 3 weeks now, because I'm currently staying with my parents for I have vacation or break from university at the moment, and I was doing an internship here, so I left my university place to stay with my parents for a few weeks, and so I had to leave my tomatoes behind. They are very well cared for by my flatmates, but I still miss them a lot. I could take one of the plants with me to bring to my parents, and they can keep the plant then. And because it was the smallest plant, it was a bit maybe sickly even, because it just didn't grow as big as the others yet. And so I brought it with me, and it was quite a challenge to fit it into the car without and securing it. So yeah, but I brought it with me and I repotted it here, and now it's growing. So I think it must have been at least 20 centimeters now, and it's growing its first real tomatoes. So I think there are 3 tomatoes now. Of course they are still green, and I think it's going to be a few weeks before they will be ripe, but it's very cool because I thought this one is going to die. And also the plant tipped over one time when it was very windy. So yeah, but it seems to be doing quite well now, so we will see. And then I'm going to try to insert a video that my flatmate sent me of all the other tomatoes, because we have now a jungle on our balcony with tomato plants, and I think part of them are over 1.5 meters now. They are definitely bigger than one of my roommates. She is not that big though. Actually, she's rather small, so it's not that pretty. But it's at least a hat taller than she is now, so that's quite a lot. And yeah, but it's very cool, and I'm going to insert the video if it works, so you can have a look. And yeah, they have a lot more tomatoes. Yeah, I'm very excited. It's going to be a few weeks though until I will be able to see them again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, so that's about my tomatoes. Yeah, then another thing you might have found out, which has nothing to do with cross stitch or tomatoes, is that there was a very big, very heavy rain here in Germany last week, and it caused massive floodings in several areas around here. It's not that far away from where I'm staying with my parents now. It's about half an hour in several directions, so it is very scary kind of, because it's nothing that would usually happen here like that. So people were not very well prepared. They were not given much warnings by cities or things like that. So sadly there has been a lot of destruction and flooding, and there's parts don't have electricity or mobile phone, you know, no internet, water in the cellars, in other areas. Also, people have drowned because the flooding was just so fast that it hit them before they could escape. So it's very terrible, and to think that it has happened so close to here is, I don't know, it's very scary, I think, and I think it might happen more often now with all the climate change and weather like that becoming more common. So yeah, in case you haven't heard, now you know that there has been quite something happening around here. Yeah. Okay, that's what I think that's what I wanted to talk about in my video. So I'm going to say goodbye to you. We're going to I think I'm going to do a video when I'm back from vacation. So maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. There might be, no, maybe in 3 or 4 weeks. There might be the next video. So feel free to subscribe or follow me on Instagram or anything like that. So yeah. Also, I'm always very happy about your comments. It always makes me smile. And so yeah. Goodbye.